Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Tom Morgan Drum Studio. And today we're back on the drum set, and we're back with Syncopation by Ted Reed. And today we're going to look at some other ways of developing fills and sticking patterns based on starting with page 838, those 8 pages. What we're going to do today is just use eighth note triplets and accents that correspond to the notes on this case, page 38. So, to kind of introduce what we're going to do here, let me come over here a little closer and show you. The first measure, well, first of all, here is a set of 4 triplets. We're in 4/4 time, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And what I've done here is I've written out the first measure of page 38, lining them up with the triplets. And I've put accents here on these triplets that correspond to these notes of the first measure. Now, if we were to break down all the different triplet possibilities here, we would find that we would have an example of a triplet with an accent on 1, the first triplet note. We would find another triplet here with an accent on the 3rd triplet note. And then here we find a triplet with the accent on the 1st and 3rd. The middle note of the triplet's never going to be accented in this system. Okay, so if we just wrote down the 3 possibilities, here they are. Accent on the 1st triplet, accent on the 3rd triplet, accent on the 1st and 3rd triplet, and then not in this measure, but in some measures, you're going to have beats where there's a rest, and there'll be a triplet with no accents. So that's it. Those are the possibilities. So if I go over to the drums, and look, here are the drums right here. How convenient. So I can just take those possibilities and practice them separately first. So I could say, I'm going to play triplets with an accent on the first triplet, first note of each triplet. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, not hard. Now let's take the other one, the accent on the 3rd triplet. And what has to happen here is you can't let your brain turn it around in your head so that the accent on the 3rd triplet note suddenly starts to feel like the 1st triplet note. That's where playing it with a hi-hat will help you. So here it is with the 3rd triplet note accented. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so the other possibility is a triplet with the accent on the 1st and 3rd note. So that's going to end up being right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. It's just going to be passed back and forth from hand to hand. So here's how that goes. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so that takes a little practice because you have to make sure the middle triplet note doesn't get too loud. All right? So now that you have the components that you need to do this exercise, we simply go through page 38. And again, I'm only going to play the first 4 lines so this doesn't get too long. But you get the idea here. We're going to play the accents where they pop up. And they're only going to pop up in those places we just showed you. So I'll just play those 4 lines. If you have the book, please follow along, page 38, and I'll play the accents where they fall according to the rhythms on page 38. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you would go through all 8 pages practicing those rhythms and doing that same system of adding the accents where the rhythms fall on the triplet. And again, it's only going to be those 4 possibilities: accenting the first note of the triplet, the last note of the triplet, the first and last note of the triplet, or none of the notes of the triplet. You won't find any. If you ever end up accenting a middle triplet note when you're doing this, you've done something wrong, okay? So that may take you a while to work through all that if you've never done it before. But the next logical step would be to say, okay, now I can play these accents. What if I threw all the right hand accents over to the floor tom and I put all the left hand accents over on the small tom? So let's see how that sounds. Same 4 lines, page 38. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And what happens is when you practice that way, and again, doing all 8 pages of it and practicing it over a period of weeks and months to where you really get fluid with that, then you can, move around the drums using single note triplets like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a couple of times I changed the sticking a little bit, and I also moved around, and I didn't always play my right hand on the floor tom and my left hand on the small tom. And of course, you can do that. You can play whatever. In fact, once you get to where you can do that, you can go ahead and play, instead of the accents on the toms, play them on the cymbal. And what I like to do is to add a bass drum to back up the cymbal a little bit. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a little trickier because you're coordinating your hands with the bass drum. But again, if you go through all 8 pages practicing that, pretty soon that will become something that you can do pretty easily. One last thing you can do with this, or there's other things you can do, but here's another step further, is to take the notes that you're not accenting and double stroke them. So if I just did that on the snare, it would sound like this on page 38. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Now I'm getting continuous roll with accents, which is a pretty cool sound. You can see where practicing the rudiments and really getting your double stroke roll together really is going to be essential if you're going to be able to do this. So if you're not going through my rudimental book and you're having trouble with this, that might be a good thing to do. Now, at this point, we can do all the same things we did before. We can throw in the accents on the toms with the double strokes. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I switched to cymbals there halfway through that time just to show you that you could do that. Or you could do combinations of toms and cymbals and all kinds of different things. The sky's the limit. So this is just yet another way to go through the Syncopation book and develop more fill ideas and just to give yourself facility to get around the drum set using triplets. All right? So, if you like this video, please like it and click on subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and watch this channel for more drum videos coming your way. All right? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.